Hey guys, it's Maddie and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to sit down and just have like a little chat about things that you shouldn't feel bad about or feel like shame, like kind of some taboo topics. I don't really know what to call these things, but they're just like things that I've been like embarrassed about or little like quirky things that I don't want to talk about or that I feel like other people don't want to talk about maybe. And I just want to like normalize them and shed some light on them because I feel like these are some of the things that I spiral about when like I'm just in a really bad place or like in a rut, and that just kind of like consume me, and I feel like I need to perfect and make like appealing to the outside world in a way, or things that just I have like things that there's a unspoken standard of that maybe you don't meet that, because I know for some of these topics I don't meet that standard that I've like perceived from the outer world and that I have placed for myself. Once I get into like the list that I have written in my notebook, once I get into it, maybe you'll get like a better understanding of what I'm getting at. But yes, without further ado, let's just get right into the video. I want to start off with your vehicle, like the vehicle you drive. I know it's always like need the newest thing with the coolest gadgets, and it needs to be like perfect, like have leather seats and like the best interior and all this, that, and like all the bells and whistles. But if you have a vehicle that gets you from point A to point B and is safe to be on the road too, that's also very important, don't get me wrong, it needs to be safe. But if you have a vehicle, it doesn't really matter what it is. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, the vehicle I drive, the Acadia, she has seen better days. She is kind of rough, but it gets me where I need to go. It gets me to and from work. It's works for what I need. Is it the best vehicle? No. Is there better options out there for me? Probably, but right now I don't make payments on it. It's costing me just like insurance and gas. It's not costing me any extra money. It's not constantly breaking down. So it's good, but it's like a 2011, so it's getting a little older, but it works for what I need it to. And I can sometimes feel very shameful of the Acadia and feel very like embarrassed by it, or that I need something better and I need to sell it and get something new. But just being grateful that I have the vehicle and that I don't need to constantly be like keeping up with the Joneses. The next is skincare and personal hygiene. I know it's very hard, especially as like a woman, where you want to shop at Sephora and buy all the best things, the top of the line, all of like the Tatcha and like Laneige and the things like that. But drugstore is just as good and effective as that high end. And just don't, I really struggled with this in high school, spending money on that because I thought it would make my skin better. Right now I'm using pretty much all drugstore products and my skin is looking the best it has in a very long time, especially when I was using those more expensive products. So if you use drugstore, there is nothing wrong with that at all. Like that, it's what works for you. Figure out what works for you and don't just buy the expensive skincare because that's what's popular right now on like social media and what people are trying to push at you and stuff. Do what works for you and don't feel bad for buying the more budget-friendly things. My next point is your home. Don't be embarrassed by your home and where you live. Don't feel that you're less than if you like don't have the picture perfect home that you see on social media. I struggle with this so much, constantly comparing what my house looks like, what I'm doing in my house, the updates, renovations, how tidy or untidy it is. This is a never-ending cycle for myself, and I'm trying to just accept the fact that what works for me, and it doesn't need to impress anyone else. If you have a roof over your head and you're paying your bills, you are a lot farther ahead than some other people. So just accept, if you're happy with it, then there's no reason why you should like feel bad about it. And I'm not saying this like is that a word? Condescendingly. I don't want to sound condescending because I struggle with this like still, like not every day, but like a lot of the time I do struggle with like comparing my house and wish I had that big farmhouse, that I wish I could keep up with the dishes more or make more meals and stuff like that. But you have a home, you have a place to live, and you have a place for all of your things that you own, and it's just accepting that. And like, you don't need bigger home, you don't need better things. It's okay. And then next is another one that's like very close to home, and that's your relationship with like your siblings, your brother, that is a sibling, your parents, your significant other, your friends. Some people have better relationships with their parents than you might. I don't want to like get too personal into like my shit, but yeah, like I just grew up comparing my relationship with my friends, like my relationship with my parents, with my friends' relationships to their parents, and would sometimes feel bad about mine, like if I wasn't as close or we didn't do as many like family things, and it was difficult. And comparing, especially now, so more so like comparing your relationship with your significant others to those that you see on social media, that's a big one, because I know it's all your highlights and stuff, but it's hard being like, oh, this couple's like traveling, they're always together, they're doing the cute photos, and like Dustin and I aren't really like that. Like we are to an extent, but we're not constantly taking pictures with each other. We're not like always doing the PDA and stuff like that, and that's okay. Your relationship isn't gonna look the same as everyone else's, and as long as you're happy in it and that it's filling your cup and you are being loved, then that's fine. And if you don't have a relationship with your parents or with a sibling, then it sucks. Like I can only sympathize with that. I don't know what it's like from personal experience, but it's just your life, and you kind of gotta make the best of it, and don't beat yourself down even further just because you see these like aesthetic, more curated clips of other people with their siblings. Like my one friend, her and her siblings are super, super close. Like they do a lot of sibling activities together, like going out with their husband and wives and stuff. And like they're a very tight group of siblings. But my brother and I, we're close, but we're not like that. Like we don't always like hang out or do things together that much. And sometimes I wish we were like that, but then I'm like, I don't wish we were doing that. Like that's just not us. That's not our relationship, and we have our own relationship that's great, and it's its own thing, and I enjoy how our relationship is. Next thing is, don't be embarrassed or like ashamed to talk about your hobbies and things you enjoy doing. Like I enjoy knitting, but I'm just like weird about that. Like I just don't want to like show interest, I guess. I don't even know what it is, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to tell you when I knit, or I don't want to like knit in front of people, or like do this, that, or the next thing. And it's like, why? I enjoy it. I wouldn't judge someone else for knitting, so why do I automatically expect people to judge me for liking things? And if you like rock climbing, or I don't know, anything, collecting things, just don't let people put a damper on your hobbies. And if you enjoy it, that's all that matters. And enjoy the shite out of it, and just live your best life doing your hobbies. And I don't know, like this, I kind of found like YouTube's a hobby of mine. I enjoy YouTube, and this is kind of a little bit of a different hobby, but I still don't really tell people in my like personal life about it, and I'm kind of weird about it, and I don't know why. Like I really, really enjoy this. It's a lot of fun. I like sitting down and just talking and making connections and things like that, but I don't know. I don't know if it's like because I'm insecure and self-conscious about it, like that I'm worried if someone's gonna judge me, then I'm not gonna like it anymore, which I don't think is the case. But yeah, just do your hobbies and enjoy them. And like, I know a lot of people like do the, oh, crazy horse girl, and horse girl's this and horse girl's that or whatever, and I ride horses, but I don't let it affect me because I'm pretty confident in that area of my life. But I love horses, and if I let all those comments get to me, I probably would have quit years ago. I would never have carried on for this long. But it's just something, just dive both feet into your hobby and enjoy it so much, no matter what anyone else says. This is kind of going back to like the skincare and like personal hygiene stuff, but like don't be embarrassed about where you shop and where you can afford. One thing that I really noticed is, this is like kind of the same but kind of different. I was potentially going to show horses next summer on this like one circuit type thing, but it's too expensive for me. And I almost just signed up for the shows to sign up because I thought it was what was expected for me. But then I had to realize I can't afford this, and the people I think that are expecting me to do it, they're not going to pay for me to do it. They're not going to pay my bills. They're not going to make sure I don't get into debt doing this. So I need to like drop the expectations, and that goes the same for like grocery shopping, shopping for clothes, like thrifting. I know thrifting is becoming really popular, but like before it was, people might have felt like shameful of thrifting if that's all they could afford and feel embarrassed that they have to go buy from there. And you shouldn't. Like if that's what you can afford, that's what you can afford. Like I said, no one is going to make sure you don't get into debt. So look out for yourself, because no one, like, yes, there are other people looking out for you, but like no one else is looking out for you to the extent that you can look out for yourself and make sure you're safe doing what you do. So take that into consideration. Like I can't shop at Farm Boy because that is very expensive. I can afford Food Basics, so I shop at Food Basics. Can I always get the most organic, naturally grown, whole foods type thing? No, sometimes I gotta buy the crap, but that's what I can afford right now. And I am just leaning into my reality and not living in like la la land. Sometimes I can find myself doing that, but just accepting things for how they are, and that this is what I can afford. I can't afford a Louis Vuitton bag or like Guess shoes or like all of these higher end brands. I can afford American Eagle jeans. I love my American Eagle jeans. I can afford like Hollister and some like Nike stuff and like the odd Lululemon piece, but I can't completely transform my wardrobe to complete Lululemon. I'm gonna wear like Nike and Old Navy brand stuff because that's what I am comfortable affording. And you shouldn't let anyone make you feel bad for not buying the big name brand high end things. This is all just kind of, I don't know, like is there a theme, like accepting being in the middle class? Because middle class is comfy for me. I like being in the middle class. I think this is kind of what it is. But I guess this is kind of not relating to money and purchases, but like your mental health. If you suffer from any mental health disorders, don't feel bad about it. Don't be embarrassed by it. I know it's becoming more normalized now, even compared to when I was like first going through it, like 5 years ago. It wasn't quite as accepted. It was still a little like, unless that's just like living in a small town. Maybe that's what it was too. But now it's becoming a little bit more normal. I'm not like out just going around like, oh, I have depression and anxiety and this, that, and the next thing. But like if it comes up in conversation, I will talk about it and address it. But if it, like, I am becoming more comfortable talking about it and people are more comfortable maybe asking questions and wanting to learn a little bit more. So that makes it easier, but don't be embarrassed by that. Or if you have any like eating or like drinking disorder, don't be afraid to like reach out and ask for the help, and people will help if you ask for it. But yeah, just don't let it knock you down, and don't let external people rain on your parade and put a damper on things. And I guess it's just like finding confidence in yourself to like be who you are and accept who you are. And yeah, I have to remind myself of this quite often. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because I struggle with this kind of thing like daily, just accepting life for how it is, I guess, and like accepting myself and loving myself regardless. Is this like self-love? Maybe. Or self-acceptance, I guess. This is more like self-acceptance. And just not letting it get you down too much, and being there for yourself and supporting yourself. I don't know if this video is helpful for anyone else. I just find I like to make content where I am feeling most vulnerable at that moment. Like just being there to support you, support myself, talk about things, making sure you know like you're perfect and good just the way you are. But anyways, this got really cheesy really freaking fast, and I think I'm gonna end this video on that note. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.